Like this we have to consider. So we are saying about the architecture. So let's go for the definition for the architecture. So what is the architecture? So Bass, Clems and Kunzman. So the three contributors define the architecture in the following way. The software architecture of a program or computing system is the structure. Is the structure or structures of the system which comprise software components and the externally visible properties of those components and the relationship among them. So what is the main definition for the architecture is? It is nothing but the software architecture is nothing but a program or computing system. So that is the structure or structures of a system which comprises of the software in components that externally visible properties of those components and the relationship between among them. Okay, whatever the components we are placing, what are the interface elements we are providing in the software, so how they are related with each other. Okay, how they are communicating, so how their externally visible properties are there. So that is the definition for the architecture, software architecture. So the architecture is not the operational software. Okay, so architecture means that is we can't able to operate, like how we are operating the some web applications, how we are operating with the some operating systems in Android phone. Android is also one software. Okay, it is not a some operational software, so we are not operating with that. So rather it is representation that enables to, but it representing what it representing the architecture. The architecture representing the analyze the effectiveness of the design. So in order to meet the standard requirements, in order to meet the whatever the requirements given by the stakeholder, in order to meet those, it analyzes the effectiveness of the design. So in order to process in the design process, how effectively we can meet all the requirements. To analyze, this architecture will be used. And secondly, consider architectural alternatives of the stage when making design changes is still relatively easy. So whatever the changes, whatever the advanced stage, we have to make some changes. So we have set the so many of the stages, 5 stages. First one is communication, planning. Next one is the design, implementation, coding and testing. So in those stages, if there is any changes, then we can do easily in the architecture. And next, third point is reduce the risk associated with the construction of the software. So without plan, if you go for the directly go for the construction of the project, so you may have some errors, you may have some bugs. So in order to reduce it, we have to go for the architecture. So why architecture is important? Why it is important? Why it is playing an important role in the software development? So similarly, Bass, Kunzman and Clems, who are the three contributors given the definition of the what is architecture. So those 3 members has identified 3 key reasons that software architecture is important. So what are those? The first one, representation of the software architecture are an enabler for communication between all parties. So after doing the architecture, so it mainly important for in order to meet the stakeholders. So whatever the requirements they are given, whether they are implemented in the architecture or not. So in order to meet them. And next, secondly, the architecture highlights early design decisions that will have a profound impact on all software engineering work. So whatever the architecture you are drawing, so they will keep some note over there. Okay, they will maintain the document for that. So that follows as important on the ultimate success of the system as an operational entity. So whatever the previous architectures they are drawn. So in order to follow those architectures, so what is the success they had there? Okay, so in order to design the new system, so what type of architecture we can follow? Like that, in order to give us some reference type, so we have to use the architectural models. So architecture constitutes a relatively small, intellectually graspable, observable, graspable means observable model of how the system is structured and how the components are work together. So we said that what is the 3 members have given the definition as architecture is nothing but how the software components are connected with each other, how they are related among them. What is the relationship among them? So the same thing. Okay. So the architecture design model and the architecture patterns contained within it are transferable. So whatever the things we are representing in the architecture, so we can change whenever we require. So next one is the architectural descriptions. So what is the subtopic for the software architecture is the description. So what is the description of the architecture? So an architectural description of a software-based system must exhibit some characteristics and or another analogous to those noted for the office building. Okay. So let us see. So the IEEE Computer Society has recommended practice of some architectural description of software intensive systems with the following objectives. So in order to go for the software architecture, so we need to practice some. What are those? Let us go for it. So to establish a conceptual framework and vocabulary for use during the design of the software architecture. So in order to draw some diagram, okay, we have to know some shapes. You have to know how the relationship between the two shapes are. What are the things we have to connect? So what are the things we have to know some knowledge about the architecture. Okay, so what are those? So first one is we have to know what is the conceptual framework. So what type of vocabulary we use those there. Okay, for architecture we use the ADL, Architecture Development Language, ADL language. So we have to know that language. So what that means for C language, C program. For C program, what you people do? You have to know what is the syntax for the so where we have to keep the semicolon, where we have to keep the some braces and close braces. Okay, so how to write the C program? You have to know like that. For architecture design also, the people should have some knowledge about that. And second one is to provide detailed guidelines for the presenting an architectural description. So whatever the architecture you are providing, so you have to provide some guidelines regarding that architecture. So this architecture is about this. So this architecture has drawn for those purposes. So this architecture is representing these components of this software. So we have to give some guidelines. And thirdly, to encourage sound architectural design practices. So in order to get so much of the knowledge about the architecture, so we have to go for the architecture design practices. So the architecture general will often dictate the specific architectural approach to the structure that must be built. So whatever the structure we have to build, so that is to be represented in the architectural form. In the context of the architectural design general, some specific, so what is the domain? So what domain we are using? So what domain we have to specify? We have to specify in the architectural architecture. Within each category, you encounter a number of subcategories. Okay. So in order to design the architecture, so only within one diagram we can't represent the whole software. So it goes further some subcategories. So that is this architectural. So one thing. So next one is the architectural genre. So up to now we have seen about the architectural descriptions. Now we are going for the genres. What is architectural genre? Okay, so this architectural genre is given some specific architecture approach structure that must be built. So what is the approach we have to build? So for that, how we have to approach. So in order to build some architecture, what is the approach for the architecture? How at what point we have to start? So which element we have to consider for the starting of the architecture? So that is the architecture genre. Okay. So Grady and Booch, suggest some following architecture genres in the software-based systems. So some contributor has given some guidelines. What are those? So first one is the artificial intelligence. So now people are very popular word is the artificial intelligence. So systems that simulate or augment human cognition, locomotion and other organic process. That means by using the artificial intelligence, like it can build some human type, like robots. Okay. And next one is the commercial and non-profit. Okay. So commercial and non-profit systems that are fundamental to the operations of a business enterprises. So commercial means for websites, so Amazon, Flipkart, those are the commercial sites, and non-profit. Okay, for those the systems are fundamental. So for those systems we can use the architectural genres. So and also we can use the architecture journals for the communication process. So communication process means what is the communication process? Systems that provide an infrastructure for transferring, managing the data. So in Wikipedia what you're getting some data. So if anyone known about that, so they can also write something in that Wikipedia. So that is the communication. Next one is the content authorization. Content authoring. So what is the content authoring? Systems that are used to create or manipulate textual multimedia artifacts. So in order to some multimedia artifacts, so what are the multimedia things you are in order to edit, in order to recreate. So there is a content authoring. For that purposes, we use the architectural journals. Okay. So and also architectural journals we use for the devices. So that means what are the devices? For example, in order to build some USB, so we have to go for the architectural journals. Next one is the entertainment and sports. It also used in the entertainment and sports. How? Systems that manage the public events. So in order to organize some public events, they will use the architectural journals. Financial, like trading, okay, stock market. For that also it will be used. And next one is the government. So in government also we can use the architectural journals for the systems. Next one is the industrial. In order to simulate, so there is so much of simulation for the glass preparation or iron preparation. So many of simulations will be done. So for that purposes also we use the architectural journals. And next one is the legal. So legal industries. And also some medical industries. And games. Sports is different, games is different. And next one is the military. In military also we use this architectural journals. So where the software is developed. Okay. So next one is operating systems. And next point is operating systems. So in operating systems also we use the architectural journals in order to build the software. And also platforms. So platforms are nothing but where the operating system is used, like Windows. Windows is the one operating system. Okay, they should have one platform. And scientific, for scientific research, for scientific applications like space research or else ocean research. Okay, and next one the tools. So in order to do some testing of the softwares, they also use go for the architectural journals in order to build the tools. And transportation also, like water, ground or air or space vehicles. For that also they will go for the architectural journals. And next one is the utilities. So whatever the utilities that will be used. So that means if you want to connect the LAN connection, so you have to some laptops will not have the LAN connected USB ports. Okay, they have to take some other external devices. So how? So for those also we go for the architectural journals. That means by using the architectural journals, these are the different we can say different examples where the architectural journals will be designed for the software development. And next one is the architecture styles. We have seen that in the architecture, software architecture, there is some architecture styles and patterns. Okay, so what is the architecture style? So architecture style is a descriptive mechanism. So what is this? It is a descriptive mechanism to differentiate the house from other styles. So for example, house building. So you don't find the similar houses. Every house will be in a different looks. How? So different styles like that. In software development also, so they will follow the same architectural styles. The software that is built for computer-based systems also exhibit many of the architecture styles. For computer-based, whatever the computer-based we use for websites or desktop applications, whatever the things. Okay, they are also using some architectural styles. Each style describes some system category, okay. And also, the first point is a set of components. Example, database, computational modules that perform a required function required by a system. So whatever the components. So each style, so whatever the style it is having. So we said that there are so many of the styles. Whatever the style it have, it should have some some features. What are that is? The first one is set of components. What are those set of components? Are databases. or computational modules, logic, where we apply the logic that perform a function required by a system. So whatever the components we are using, they have to work accordingly. They have to perform a function required by a system. Okay. And next, second point is a set of connectors that enable communication, coordination, and cooperation among the components. Whatever the components you are using, it should have some connectors. So databases. So in order to take the data from the database, you should have some connector. What type of connector it is? It is depends upon the architecture style. Okay. And next one is, third point is constraints that define how components can be integrated to form the system. So at what conditions we have to use these constraints? Constraints are nothing but conditions. So how they are components can be integrated. Some two components will be integrated. Integrated means subunits will be together form one unit. Okay, that is the integration. To form the system, how the system is formed by combining the two components. And next, the fourth one is semantic models that enable a designer to understand the overall properties of the system by analyzing the known properties of its constituent parts. So, what are the semantic models that enable? Whatever the semantic models you are using, so whatever the properties you are using, so we have to understand all those properties. So, what are the components you are using? What are the things you are using in the architecture? So, we have to understand the each and every properties of the everything whatever you are using. Okay, so these are the 4 points we have to keep in the mind for the architecture in order to follow the architecture styles. An architectural style is a transformation that is imposed on the design of the entire system. So, whatever the style, what is an architecture style? So, this is a definition. An architectural style is a transformation that is transforming, that means changing, imposed on the design of an entire system. So, whatever the style you are following, it should follow the whole entire of the system. Okay, so for example, in front end I will use only one style, in database, in back end I will use another style, means it will not. So, whatever the style you are following, it should follow the whole front end and back end of the web application or website, whatever it is. So the main intent for the architecture style is to establish the structure for all components of the system. So what type of components you are using? So components means what are the databases you are using, what are the things you are using in the development of the software. Okay. So how they are implementing in the software. So why? Because so if you got some error at some time, so then by what purpose this error came into existence? So how we can reduce that error? How we can remove that error? We have to know. So that's the reason these architecture styles into computing systems. So a brief taxonomy for the architectural styles. So we have the different types of architecture. So what are those? The first one is data-centered architecture. So what is a data-centered architecture? A data store or file a database. Data-centered architecture are nothing but what are the database you are requiring for your software development. So in order to represent that database, we will go for the database architecture. So this is the information about the database architecture. A data store or example file or database resides the center of this architecture and accessed frequently by other components that are update, add, delete, otherwise modify data within the store. So database architectures are mainly designed for the databases. So whatever the things, components are nothing but front end. From front end, what are the things you are adding or deleting? For example, if you want to change the password. So whatever the change in the password, the change in password is has to update in the backend. Then only after the next time, if you if you log in with the updated one only, it will open. Okay, so in order to update, add or delete or modify whatever the things we have to do, what are the manipulations we have to do, then we will go for the database architecture. Okay, so this is the database architecture model, how they are designed. So this is the data store. So the data store will interact with by the clients. Okay, whatever the clients are interfering, so many of the clients will be interfere. So whatever the things they are changed, that will be stored in the database, and also that has to be transferred to the user. So this the change in password is changed successfully. Okay, after the storing in the database, they have to get some email, some messages. So this is the database architecture, database centered architecture. And next one is the data flow architectures. So what is the data flow architectures? This architecture is applied when input data are to be transformed through a series of computational. So this is not one, this is two. And next one is the data flow architectures. So up to now we have seen only one, that is a data centered architecture. Now next one is the data flow. So you know about the data flow. So data flow diagrams we do. So what type of input we have given? So that is transform, how it is getting to transform into some series of action. So how the input is getting into the some output. Okay. So for example in ATM, you are inserting a card. After giving the PIN number, so if it is not correct, what is it is doing? So the series of action, what is the series of action are doing for the given input, that is given by the data flow architectures. Okay, so it is this is the data flow architecture. In this architecture, we have some. Okay, I said that in order to draw the architecture, we have to know some vocabulary. So in the data flow architecture, pipes, the arrow symbols. What is the arrow symbols are they're called as the pipes. Okay, what are the rectangular boxes here? These are the filter. So this is the pipes and filter for the data flow architecture. And next one is call and return architectures. So this is the third point. Call and return architecture. So what is a call and return architecture? So this architecture style enables you to achieve a program structure that is relatively easy to modify and scale. Okay, so this architecture, whatever this call and return architecture is an architecture enables you to achieve a program structure. That means how the program you are implementing. So how the program is getting to connect with one program to one class to another class. That is given in this category. So it has the two categories. One is the main program or subprogram, and next one is the remote procedure call architectures. What is the main programs or subprogram architectures? For example, in C, you people know about the C language or C++. Whatever the C language, first you will have to write the main. Without main, return type means you can write any return type, it's up to you. So without the word main, you can't be able to run the program if you try. So what is the main program or subprogram? So after the main, what you have written as a subprogram. Okay. So remote procedure call architectures. So remote procedure architecture is nothing but client server architecture. Client server architecture. So client server architecture means, for example, you are opening the websites or web apps through mobile phones. Okay, whatever you are selecting, so that is going to the server. Server will be in some other country. So that is remote. So it is not going within the country. It is going out of the country, or sometimes it may go out of the world also. Okay, like that. Wherever the servers they are maintained. So that is the remote procedure call architectures. So we will see the example for the main programs or subprogram. So this is the figure for the main program or subprograms. There is no figure for the remote control architectures. Okay. So this is the main program subprogram architecture. So first one is the main program. After that main program, what is the some controller programs? After the controller programs, we will go for the application programs. Okay. This is the architecture. The way they are designing. So if it is a main program, so how they know means it depends upon the software. So what type of software, that is the requirement. In requirement analysis, we have to know each and everything. Okay, at this time, at this point, we have to go for this main program. At this time, we have to go for the some sub-programs. We have to know. So this call and return architecture will run for the programmatic softwares. Okay, and next one is object-oriented architecture. And next one is the object-oriented architecture. Fourth one. So the components of a system are encapsulate data and operations that must be applied to manipulate the data. So what is the data? So object-oriented programming. So you know about the C++ is also object-oriented programming. So in object-oriented programming, we can achieve some information hiding and data abstraction. Okay. So in order to encapsulate data, encapsulate means closing the data. So it should wrapping the data. So all the things we have to wrap in one form, like how chocolate is wrapped in a chocolate wrapper, like that. Okay. The operations that must be applied to manipulate the data. So whatever the operations you are applying over there. So what are the things that you are doing? Okay. So that is done in the object-oriented architecture. So communication and coordination between components are accomplished via message passing. Okay, what is the communication? What is the coordination between the components are accomplished via message passing. So here the communication should be done via message passing. Okay, so this is the one vocabulary form in architecture. So that is the object-oriented architecture. And next, the fifth one is the layered architecture.